Yeah. I think our 7 players who played tonight have been grinding it out. It's a grind in practice. It's a grind in games. Um, Destiny Burton played 31 minutes today. That's more than she played prior to Stanford. It might actually be still more than she played all season combined. And Peyton and Esther are very close. If you take the Stanford game out, they're all above. So, Brenna and KK and Lynn and Vonnie, they don't normally have to play those kind of minutes. Lenny, obviously, we got a little rest today. She fell weird. But I think they've just been grinding, and it's been a long stretch. We've had a bunch of stuff. We've had travel issues. We've had injuries, sickness. Some of those players have been sick. So we've kind of had everything. I haven't, as a coach in however long I've been coaching, 18 years, I haven't gone through a stretch exactly like this. And I know that these players haven't either. So I'm really proud of them for what they've done over the last couple of, we didn't have enough to safely play the Eastern game. Some people would argue that 7's not enough to safely play Stanford and Queens either. And, we thought that it was, and our doctor said that was, and we thought we could figure out enough rest for them. So I think that a testament to them for what they've done over the last few weeks, and I'm really happy that they get tomorrow off. In Spokane, there will be no travel issues for any of them, and they can really take a minute and rest. So I think just that's the biggest thing. My biggest takeaway from the game is just that they really grinded it out, and I'm glad that we finished the way we did, and that's what I got.
Can you offer any guesses, insight, expertise on
Jim, as soon as I think I know what's going on, something different happens. So I think a lot of sickness that I think we're hopefully turning the corner on. Obviously, I told you guys about Mount was in concussion protocol. She's working through that. So we'll see if, we're moving in a positive direction. But honestly, there's nothing that's like you need this many days and we're at this point. We're not quite there yet. But I'm hopeful that we're going to be more additive instead of whatever the opposite of that is, subtractive. Is that a real word? I don't know. Going forward, hopefully. Yeah.
5 days to next week.
Yes.
Okay.
So hopefully the time is in our favor as far as the injury and sickness goes.
In a game like this, do you kind of throw any thought of specific rotations out, and you just, if you see someone look tired, you go get them?
No, I feel like in games like this, it's more specific. Even like Vonnie was playing great. Obviously, she had 32, but if it was her turn to come out, then it was her turn to come out because we were really just rotating the 3 of them in the forward. Esther is not generally a forward, so we were already in that situation. Same thing goes with the guards. There's just 4. So I think that actually in this game it was more methodical than I normally am because I'm usually more of a feel kind of person or trying to give them some rest when I can, and that just wasn't possible in a game like this with only this many players.
It seems like every time we see Vonnie go out there, it's like, this is the best she's ever played. Well, this is the best she's ever played. Just how far has she come in her development since you first got your eyes on her, got her into this program?
Well, I was pretty excited. Vonnie committed to me when I was on vacation in Mexico, and it would have ruined the entire vacation if she would have said no. My husband knew she was going to call and thought that he already ruined as much of the vacation as he could because he thought that she would only be calling to say no at that time since she knew we were on vacation. So we've been pretty excited about her since she got here. She has developed a lot, though. She's put a lot of time in. So she's wanted to, some players want to be guards, they're forwards. Vonnie doesn't want to be a guard. She just wants to be able to do all the things on the floor. And so that means doing all the guard things and doing all the forward things. And so she's worked really hard on those things that she wasn't necessarily as strong at. And she's improved tremendously from the mid-range. Obviously, she made plenty threes this year. And she's always been a good ball handler, defender, and scorer around the basket and driver. She's just really, she's talking more. She's got all the tools, So I think that she has improved. She came in here pretty darn good, and she's just keeps getting better every day.
In a way, do you think the increased minutes for those who aren't used to it can help maybe down the line?
Usually, that's always something that we say is that those when there's an injury that happens, there's I think maybe Lee's the only one remaining on this team. Vonnie, actually. Those guys have both played huge games. Vonnie had a huge WCC tournament championship game a few years ago when there was a bunch of sickness and she was a freshman. Kaylee moved in the starting lineup when Katie Campbell got hurt a couple years ago when she was a freshman, and obviously they're 2 of our very best players right now. So I think that I wouldn't say there's only positives, but there's only positives for those players who are gaining experience that they wouldn't have gained necessarily if our team was entirely healthy.
What do you know about UC Davis up next? They played St. Mary's tough.
Yeah, they played us tough last year too. We know quite a bit about them. We're good friends with their staff. I know that they're a husband and wife, just so you guys know. So there'll be two married couples out there on Sunday. They run a ton of splits. They've got good shooters. You know, they're really a well-rounded offensive team. They work with each other very well. If you let them get shooting, then that's a problem, and that's been just okay for us lately. Our three-point field goal percentage defense has not been amazing, so that's something. I haven't watched this year's team, honestly. I know they've played a lot of our league opponents, but I've been focusing on exactly who we were going to have available for our next game and how we were going to make that work. So now it's time to look for Davis.
Lisa, I'm interested from your perspective, end of the year when you start making decisions on where to proceed and all that, how do you think a stretch like this will be looked at in your voters' eyes?
Well, hopefully favorably. I do know that the NCAA tournament committee gets together, and there's someone from each region in each conference who, I used to be on that committee, or the advisory board, where I would sit there and I would say, well, this team did lose to so-and-so and such, but they were playing without that player and this player, and that's why they do it. I think the committee does a really good job of trying to figure out the best teams to have in it, and why if something doesn't look quite right, why it would look like that. And honestly, the results haven't looked not quite right. If you looked at it, I think it would look better if we had Stanford. That looks more right to me. But, getting the Stephen F. Austin one where we were getting the main game while we were kind of under staffed, I guess, on our squad. So there's nothing that looks too funny on paper, but I do know that the representative from our league is going to make sure that they know that we went down to Stanford and played with 7 players, and we battled our tails off and won these ones without them. And so I think that that's going to be a positive for us when we get to March, if we can take care of business from now until then, because that's the key part. You still have to take care of business from now until then, otherwise you're not actually in that conversation.
Right. A little early,
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah.
How big is it for you to have a game like this from Yvonne in a situation like this?
Well, I think Vani shows up for us basically every day. She doesn't have a lot of bad days. She's a little too hard on herself sometimes, but I think that today was emotional. There was a lot of emotion. Those guys were feisty. We knew that they were going to be. And so I think Vani providing stability for our team, and it's always nice when you can throw the ball to somebody and you kind of know that something's good's going to happen. She's not selfish. They didn't have a great answer for her. That's why she scored all the baskets. If they would have had a good answer, she would have found somebody else on her team. So I think that that's the most important and impactful piece, is just that she's growing as a leader, and she's gaining trust in her teammates. She has quite a bit of it. I don't think that that's something that's missing, but she's just more and more. She's just becoming a more trustworthy person on the court, and continuing to build herself up as the leader that she is. So I think that it's expected from all of us within the program, but it's still good for us and her. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Getting Brenna in here seemed like such a huge win for you guys on paper, and it's paid immediate dividends. What can you say just about her play 10 games in?
I think she's doing a great job too. Those guys, her and our players who've played in all, those 4 starters who've started in all. I guess Brenna didn't start the first couple when Kaylee was available, but those guys have just done a really good job. And I think Brenna she's really showing that she's capable of more than just shooting the ball. I think that a lot of people were like, "Oh, you got that great shooter," and she's lived up to that. She's a great shooter. She puts in a lot of time, and I will yell at her every time she passes a shot. It doesn't matter. But she's taking charges for us. She's getting rebounds for us. I think, again, as we're in a very unstable time with our team. And so I think probably her and Vani and Linny specifically, they've really provided some stability. You just know what you're going to get every time. They're not erratic. They're dialed in on what's going to happen next. They know the scout. They kind of have all of those things going for them. So I think that Brenna As a coach, you're sometimes like, oh, the shooters want to become drivers. Just be a great shooter. But she's found a lot of things to do that I'm like, yes, thank you for doing that. Yes, thank you for doing that. Outside of just her making shots. And the making shots part is going to take her a long way, but the other stuff I think is going to take our team a lot further than just the making shots would.
What went right tonight for you?
I feel like just like a couple of games ago, I've been like trying to like make myself an option at the high post beyond just like being attacker and trying to shoot the ball a little bit more. But like I keep on getting like reassurance that like at the end of the day, like if what's working for you is working, then just keep doing it until it stops, and then you can try and like figure out something else. So I feel like today I really leaned into the fact that like I am an attacker and I can attack, and just getting confidence from other people really helped me just kind of like use that throughout my game today.
For both of you, what's it like knowing that you're gonna play some big minutes, more than you've probably been used to in the past?
Yeah, I think more so it's great for people that haven't had a lot of court time. They're doing a great job out there, and I feel like every game our whole team's improving just with that experience, and that's something I don't think we would have had the opportunity to do otherwise. I mean, obviously it really hurts to have like half our team sitting out, but it's provided a lot of great things for our whole team just to have that experience and be able to grow and be able to develop, so that in the coming games or even next year that we already have like a solid group coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make you feel a little tighter too? I mean, just having that smaller group for now.
We've been through some rough times, so I think adversity brings everyone together.
That's
for
true.
Sure.
Yeah.
Coach, you talked about how it's been a rough week or two for you guys, travel issues and all that stuff. To come through it on the other side, and with a little bit of a break and 8-2 through your first 10 games, I mean, it's a testament to you guys. How does it feel right now to know that you guys have gotten the results that you've wanted so far?
I guess you would say like kind of like rewarding. Like we put in like every team like puts in all their effort and stuff like that, and they always want the best results for like themselves. But just to like see and kind of like look back on different games that we've had throughout the season and kind of like see where we started and see how we are right now, just like for me gives me just like a like excitement for what my team can do, because it's just like we can really do it. And especially in this stretch with more people like playing and getting out there and just like playing the game, finding their game on the court, it's just like really kind of like confidence building to see like that our team is really growing, especially this early in the season. Mm-hmm. So I feel like just that part is just like super exciting to kind of like see.
Has it changed how you guys are playing? Because if you foul out, then
that's true.
It's a problem there.
The SFA game was crazy. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think it's like in the back of our minds. I don't think changing who we are isn't what we want to do. I think no one really is that foul prone on this team. We don't have to worry about, oh yeah, this person's gonna be in foul trouble every single night.
Yeah.
But I think maybe again the SFA game was the outlier. But I think overall our team just trying to stick to our guns when we know what to do and just power through. And I think the hardest stretch is over for us for a while, hopefully.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have more people on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll not have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Bonnie, did anyone tell you how close to the single game scoring record you were?
No, I didn't
What's
hear
the
it.
record?
6 points short. 30.
Oh, come on.
32. So
Kidding.
just knowing that your name will be up there in the history books, I mean, how does that feel for you?
Exciting. I feel like that's just like super cool, because I feel like especially this year and last year, I always get updates about like a lot of players in our program all around athletics and stuff like that, just like breaking records and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my god, this is my classmate. So it's kind of cool to like just like be able to like experience that as well. I feel like that's something that I can definitely like be proud of today.